Hello, beautiful people. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well as Facebook. Hello, beautiful souls. I am live on Facebook and I'm live here on Instagram. I've never done an Instagram live, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be looking between both of these mediums and trying to answer any questions or comments. This is a workshop that I have called Living in Energetic Resonance. Living in Energetic Resonance. And I am so excited to offer this today. It's just like a deep love of mine to be of service in this way, to offer yogic wisdom and wisdom around energy. And hello, beautiful people. And today is going to be an opening prayer. There's going to be a meditation. I'm going to talk about resonance and dissonance and what those mean in terms of energy and how to live in energetic resonance, especially right now. And talking about the yogic path of enlightenment, what it means to be on the yogic path of enlightenment, and how to understand your energetic blueprint and what that is. And then I'll also talk about things like the kleshas and the koshas, which might not be terms that you know, but super, super important in learning about energetic resonance. That was my crystal that just fell off my lap. I've got my crystals, I've got my oils. And then I'm going to give you a special announcement at the end, something that I'm really stoked about that I wanted to share. And I'll talk a little bit about me and what I do. But first, I'm just going to offer a blessing and an opening prayer and an invocation. I'm just lighting some Palo Santo right now. And getting ourselves into a really beautiful, amplified space of energy and clearing off some of the dross from the day. And if you don't know what dross means, it's like the energetic stagnation that we might have. So as with anything, I'm a ceremonialist, so everything to me is ritual, even if I'm giving a workshop. And this is like a 45-minute, really beautiful workshop that I've created. Again, some of you who are just joining, it's called Living in Energetic Resonance. And if you have any questions during this time, I'm completely open to trying my best to working with both mediums, Facebook Live and Instagram, and trying to get to all of the things. So let's see if we can do that. So just writing any comments if you need to, and I'll try to answer them. Hello, Beauty Ceremony Meditation. Hi. I'm assuming it's Roxy, but I don't know. Maybe it's Travis. Hi, both of you. It's been so long, yes. So we're going to drop into an opening prayer and do the invocation, the amplification of energy, and then I'll start to talk about the living in energetic resonance and what that means. So let's close our eyes just for a moment and tune in. And I like to use my drum. I am a shamanic practitioner, and the drum is like my jam, as energy is my jam. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But what we're going to do is open up a space so that this workshop can be in an energetic container that's amplified with beautiful, grounded energy and connected to all of the elements. And also, of course, it's a super full moon, the pink moon in Libra. So this is an opportunity to connect with the moon, too, so that when we're in energetic alignment with all of that in our own beings, we can really listen to the material, which can be pretty deep. Hi, Amelia. How are you? Hi, Jenny. So good to have you here. So let's close our eyes. And wherever you are, just dropping into your seat, dropping into a space that feels connected to the ground. Taking a couple of deep breaths down, down, down into Mother Earth. And if any sounds want to come through, that is so okay and welcomed always. Because we're carrying a lot now. And under the full moon, it's like a perfect opportunity to really release and let go. So I'm going to call in the elements. I'm only going to do one call. Typically in ceremony, I would do 3 calls to each direction. But in efforts of time, because this is about a 40-minute workshop that I'm offering, I want to get to a closing and any comments or anything that you need to share. Calling to Mother Earth to ground us, asking for her support, asking for connection to our roots, to the floor, to our feet, asking to be held in nurturance and love today. Calling to Pachamama. Pachamama. Calling to Grandmother Moon, the beloved pink moon of Libra today, shining upon us. We call to the waters of our own bodies, to our emotions, to be purified, to be released, so that all the channels, the meridians can be clear, and we can let the emotions and the rivers run through us, releasing what we need to release. Connecting to Mama Kia today. Mama Kia. Connecting to what is called Viracocha. Viracocha, the great creator, the originating mystery of spirit. Asking to be guided today on our journey with open wings, calling in the winged ones, so that we can see with macro vision what's happening right now on this planet, and to be open and free. Viracocha. Calling to Taita Inti, Father Son, that stoic nature, that bright light that lives within us. In this tradition, the Pacha Kuti Mesa tradition, the light represents actually the transmutation of the mind, new paradigms, shifting, new ways of thinking and perspective. It's like the phoenix rising through the ashes. And just getting connected with the sun, Taita Inti. Taita Inti. Thank you to those of you who have joined us. We're just doing the invocation to all the directions to start this beloved prayer and opening ceremony. From the earth, we went to the west, to Grandmother Moon, to the north, to the air, Viracocha, to Taita Inti, the east, the sun. And now we go to the beloved center. What is above, what is below, what is within is without. To connect to the rainbow bridge that connects us to all things, to all the unseen realms, to all of our ancestors, to all the beloved guides and angels, the galactic federations, the cosmos that we're connecting with in this moment of time. We ask that we amplify our energy of healing. We call to all of those unseen realms for support. You might think of the rainbow bridge coming from your navel. We call to Koichi. Koichi. And so now we've opened up the mesa. This is a tradition of mine that just amplifies my own energy and helps me to really connect with you and to connect to all the realms for support, for love, for guidance, so that everything that we do is ceremonial, it's ritual, it's connected, it's with intention, it's with heart, it's with grace and ease and joy. Very good. Okay. So let's see who is with us. Melanie, thank you. Yolanda, thank you. Lori, Another Melanie, Natalie, Jenny, thank you. So, where are we going today? Living in energetic resonance. So I really believe that all of us at this time, we are truly healing and truly awakening to our divine purpose. And we know anyone who's on this call is a healer or a light worker or some sort of teacher in the spiritual realms. And it is your time. This is the time that we've all been waiting for, right? I always say, you're the one that you've been waiting for. And I really believe that as we heal ourselves, we awaken and we also change and shift and heighten the collective consciousness. We are here for healing the inner resonance, which is the microcosm, of the macrocosm. I'm just like looking at comments. We are leaders, right? We're leaders in truth. We're leaders in light. We are leaders in love. And I really want to take a stand for that so that you can drop into your own gifts and really own them. Like really own your light at this time is imperative to the evolution of this entire collective. Right? And I really believe in grounded connection, like root chakra, right? Our womb wisdom. I work with mostly women, but womb wisdom, your sexual health, the balance of your masculine and feminine energy, working with your gut, like your intuition, your gifts, your talents, the way that you show up in action in the world, your heart, right? Being of compassionate service and really dropping into that. Being and living in your authentic truth. Like, how can we be more honest, more vulnerable, more open, more loving, and self-expression, right? Self-expressing. It's a vibratory place. This is all energy. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. But getting also into our intuition, like our deep, deep internal knowing and resonance about what we are going to do with discernment. And this requires a lot of inner work. And then, of course, connecting to the beloved heavens and bringing all of that down to earth. I love you, Rebecca. So who am I? Some of you don't know me. My name is Nicole. My last name is Doherty. And I'm actually changing it to Ananda. Ananda means bliss. And it's because I've done so much cord-cutting work on my own ancestry that I wanted to really be reminded every single day that I am bliss, that I am working with joy, that I'm working with bliss. So now I'm going to be going by Nicole Ananda. You will start to see some shifting there. And energy is really my jam. Like that has been my jam for a long time. I've been teaching yoga for 15 years. And when I learned subtle body energy, I was like, that's it. Like that just became my thing. And so I'm an intuitive shamanic healer. I'm a women's empowerment coach. I do a lot of healing work and facilitation with women's groups, teacher trainings, retreats, facilitation. And I'm also more recently, a breathwork facilitator. And that's become also like the passion of mine and my love. And it kind of combines all of my modalities into one thing where I can be in ceremony. I worked in the shamanic plant medicine realm for like 12 years, where I could bring all my tools, all of my crystals, all of my bowls, all of my sound equipment, and like do ceremony with people, but without taking those risks and really using our own medicine. It's such a gift, and I'm so excited about that. So let's get into the topic. What is resonance? All right, resonance to me is the idea that we are all interconnected. We are all from a unified field of energy, and we are vibrational, energetic beings. And when we are all together in sync, then we are in harmony not only with our own bodies, but with each other, and in harmony and resonance with the earth. So with the earth, that's a very important part because we've kind of forgotten Mama Gaia. Like, what is going on here, right? Resonance is unity consciousness. Unity consciousness. Inner resonance is internal energetic alignment. Internal energetic alignment. Our microcosm is the macrocosm, right? The macrocosm is the microcosm. We are one in the same. Now, I came across this amazing, thanks for the stars. I came across this amazing quote the other day, and if anyone was on this call, you would be like blown away. The Unified Global Broadcast like blew my mind. I was on that call for about 3 hours. I intended to be on for a short period of time, and it just swept me away for the whole night, which I was so excited about. I got really into it because there was so much incredible information there. So shout out Unify. Woo! Like if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the replays and just like dip in and out because it was amazing. So there was a company on there called ResonanceScience.org. And the founder, when I went to their website, yes, so good. Yes, thank you for, right? Jenny was on there too. I was like, you got to be on this right now. The founder of this organization, this was on his website, and this is exactly my viewpoint too, so I was excited to share it. So this is neuroscience, science, and technology that they're combining, but this is his kind of mission statement. Listen to this. Imagine how the world will change when humanity realizes its interconnectedness with all of life and works together to restore the health and well-being of the whole. Yes, that's what we've been talking about as yogis for a really long time. So to see this blend of science and heart and ancient wisdom and talking about restoring the health and well-being of the whole, I was like, right on, brother, right? Big brother, shout out. They talked about this, and I love this too, and I wanted to bring this up because this has to do with resonance. Did you know that there are 31 trillion cells in our bodies, 31 trillion cells in our bodies doing simultaneous events in resonance with that unified field of energy? That's a lot of cells. And what I thought when I heard that, I was like, wow, 31 trillion cells working in resonance with the unified field of energy. That is the God within. This is the God within that we know is present, the light within us that we all are, the unity that is within us, it's everywhere. And every single one of us has that power and that God within us, that unified field of source energy within us. So if we're all doing our inner work, and this is where I went with it, I was like, if every single person on the planet could do what us healers and light workers are doing for ourselves right now, flip the switch, right? The whole thing changes. The whole thing changes. So, dissonance, right? Resonance, dissonance. Out of harmony. That's the way that we've been living. And we've all been watching things about this. I know you guys know this, but there's a thread with this that I'm taking you down. So, we've been in collective overconsumption, materialism, mining, farming, pollution, just destroying all of our resources, overdoing everything, right? And it's really, really a critical time to do our healing work. And I know a lot of you have been doing healing. We've been on this path. I've been on this path for 15 years and probably even longer than that. But doing this work, and it's a deep freaking dive. And sometimes it feels like, well, will we ever, kind of complete that? And I think that it is time where us as healers and light workers are really rising up to bring others along with us. Everybody's got to get on the bandwagon. We can't leave anybody behind. It's not like we ascend and they don't. That's spiritual egotism, and it's complete bypassing, right? So we got to bring everybody together with us. So revealing right now our societal program, our lineage programs, all the things that are in our makeup that create dissonance. This inner dissonance is resistance. It's resistance, resistance, resistance to divine natural order, right? Divine natural order is not resistance. We don't need to be feeling resistance all the time. What if they don't want to come and ascend? That's a good question. I'll address that. But I feel like they don't want to come and ascend because they're still asleep, right? They're still asleep. And so it's our job to awaken people with us. And I think we do that. I feel that we do that by our own presence and by taking action in the world and shifting the paradigm through the collective rising, right? To really feel that if we can feel ourselves, then we can feel their own pain. Those people that may not be awake yet are in pain and suffering. And we want to have compassion and we want to help as best as we can. And I don't know the true answer to that yet, right? I don't know. This is like a personal journey for everybody. And people are on different timelines. Inner dissonance. Let's ask everybody right now, like what inside of you, so this is a good question for you maybe. What inside of you reflects what you don't like outside of you? So if I could, thank you, good answer. If I could feel inside of myself, let's say outside of myself, I don't like lies and misperceptions. I don't like lies. That's not my jam, right? I like honesty and vulnerability and openness. But if I don't like dishonesty, if I'm pointing that out, there's something within me that's probably dishonest, which is why I know I don't like dishonesty. And so if we can really go in and say, what outside of me reflects what's inside of me, and what inside of me reflects what's outside of me. What in you is not in alignment with your highest self? That's another form of dissonance. What inside of you is not in alignment with your highest self, because that's dissonance too. And so it's really, again, about this inner resonance, this inner energetic alignment with what's in resistance. Like aligning with what is in resistance within you is what you want to heal. And ancient wisdom always, this is what ancient wisdom always says, right? This is like the shamanic principle. All dis-ease is spiritual unrest. All disease is spiritual unrest. And so going back to source, going back to our connection, going back to our highest self is where we want to be, right? That's where we want to connect so that we really understand what needs to be healed. Going back to source energy. Now, one of my favorite new people that I follow on Instagram, his name is The Obsidian Blade on Instagram. He's amazing. And when I came across him, I was like blown away. His videos are amazing. But he called it this, and then I heard it again on the Unify broadcast. He called what's happening now the global pattern interrupt. And I was like, oh, yeah, right? I'm talking about lineage patterns, societal patterns, etc. This is a global pattern interrupt. The stream of intelligence is saying, wake up, let's come back into resonance. Inner resonance, outer resonance. Inner alignment, outer alignment. Harmony. And then I asked myself, like, what in myself is not flowing easily and effortlessly through me? If the stream of intelligence is not flowing through me, there's blocks. What is blocking? So it's like a good question to ask yourself. What's really blocking me? Hello. Love that. Yeah. So are you in resonance with your highest self? Are you in resonance with your highest self? Ask yourself, where am I not in resonance? And you could also ask yourself, what's dissonant? Same thing, but I like to keep it in the positive. But there's a lot of things that we can talk about there. What I wanted to talk about next was a shamanic principle that I really love. Jenny says the inner work will create a ripple outward. Yes, impact, right? Right? The yogic wisdom and the shamanic viewpoint. And I love this term. If you haven't come across it, it's part of the mesa work that I do, this Pachacuti Mesa. Don Oscar Mericasada, who is one of my teachers, Alan Waugh is one of my teachers. I've done a little bit of work with this mesa work over the years. And not a little bit, a lot, I should say. I've done a lot of work with this mesa work. And as part of that work, as part of the shamanic work, we talk about the term sacred reciprocity. Sacred reciprocity, or Aini. Good energy is contagious. Yes, it is. This sacred reciprocity term is about creating inner harmony and balance within yourself. And that balance within yourself is also putting yourself back into harmony and back into balance with Mother Earth. Sacred reciprocity is a giving and a receiving. Just like we talk about in yoga, you can't just give all the time. You would be depleted, right? I work with a lot of women who end up rescuing a lot of people. Like, I gotta change this, I gotta fix this, I gotta solve that, I'm gonna do all this, and then I'm like depleted until I have nothing left to give. That's called rescuing. It's actually not solving anything. It's actually detrimental to your own being, right? It's like you're not allowing other people to have their own process, and there's a cost to rescuing people. And I'm not going to get into that right now. That's not part of this. I could go down that coaching line for a while. But sacred reciprocity, we are here to balance ourselves and to be in balance and harmony with the earth. And think about this. We are children of the earth. We are children of the earth. We are made, skin and bones, all this stuff, right, of the elements of the earth. So why have we forgotten that? Like, we've gotten into this big sleep, right? We need to distribute. There's been power struggles, all sorts of things have gone out of alignment into dissonance, and we have forgotten that our mother, our primary relationship is actually with the earth. Excuse me. And now in yogic traditions, if I burp, it's a purge. So I'm just letting you know, I'm purging energy for all of you. Nature is our teacher. We talk about this in the Yoga Sutras. Nature is our mirror, and it's our teacher. This is Earth University, right? This is Earth University. And so the idea of sacred reciprocity is we give and we receive, and we give and we receive, and we give and we receive, such as ritual and ceremony, calling to the ancestors, asking for permission, doing all of these things that we're doing with the earth, okay? This global pandemic is the contrast that the world, the earth, has given us to see our shadow. Just like if you're doing coaching work, and I do a lot of healing and coaching work, where we use the shadow as a teacher, we use the ego as a teacher. And I think that we, sometimes in spiritual communities, there's this bypassing that happens, like that's so egotistical, don't worry about the ego. And the thing is the ego actually can be a radical teacher of contrast. It's an opportunity to see what needs to be healed within you. And I like to call the ego the inner child. You know, it's the wounded part of us that as we came into this planet, we started to get those we ingested those programs. And that's the part of us that we're healing, right? Because somehow we got lifted out of our experience as this like pure spiritual light being. And we are now in this 3D reality. So that's a whole nother concept, but I'll go there eventually. So we want to transcend, right? We want to start to transcend, but we need this idea, this concept of sacred reciprocity. Thanks for all your comments. This is great. I love all the hands and the yeses and the stars. So if you ever want to give me some more stars and hands, I love it. Thank you. What I wanted to talk about was the yogic path of spiritual enlightenment, because this is the path that we're on, right? We are on a path. Anyone who's watching this is probably on this path, or you wouldn't be watching this. The spiritual path of enlightenment. And what does it mean? Thank you for the light bulbs. To be enlightened. Enlightenment, right? It's like we're bringing the light back on. We're turning on the bulbs. There's 5 obstacles that they talk about in the Yoga Sutras. I'm not going to go deep into that because that could be like an entire workshop. But we're facing all 5 of these right now, which is why it's so freaking intense right now. And I'm just going to name them and not really do a whole teaching on it, but listen to this. One of them is the illusion of separation. One of them is the ego. So that's avidya, is the illusion of separation. The ego, ashmita. The other one is raga. That's your attachments. We're seeing all of our material attachments and relationship attachments and all the ways that we're attached to different concepts and ideas and paradigms. We also have what's called devesha, the aversions. What do we avert? How are we distracted? Now we're at home and we're like, whoa, I'm so distracted, right? Can you see how distracted you get on your phone? Like, we're all forced in, but now we're also seeing like what we're addicted to too, right? And fear of death is the one that we need to overcome to get enlightened. Fear of death, we are being faced with our fear around our own death. Now, as yogis, we practice death in every shavasana. Shavasana is corpse pose. So there's this mini death and this mini rebirth that we can have on the mat every single time we go into our practice. So we work on this. This is kind of part of what we tend to overcome or try to transcend as part of living in this world, like really appreciating with gratitude what we have. But there's many people on this planet that are like freaked out. Now it's really in their face. And how can we help them through that? And, you know, I'm not discounting what's going on. This is like real deep stuff. And I send my prayers and my love to all the families that are suffering, really suffering. I know people who have died. You know, this is a real thing. And this is a whole nother topic, but what we also don't talk about is, you know, these numbers are lower than things like hunger, the amount of people who die of suicide every year, right? There's a lot of death that goes on all the time that we're not being told, or that's not talked about, it's not healed. This is an opportunity to really look at everything, not just this virus specifically, but all the other things that are happening, suicide, people dying of smoking, obesity, etc. So there's a lot to look at, okay? And so this practice right now to overcome these things is to really come inward and to trust what's arising inside of you and not to ignore your feelings. That's bypassing. We do not want to ignore our emotions and our feelings. No way. Part of the way in, or part of the way through, I should say, is to go in and through, to listen to that stream of intelligence that's inside of you that is calling you. And if you feel sadness, like this morning, I did so many beautiful rituals for the full moon with different women. I was like, I did breath work, then I did a full moon ceremony, then I'm going to do one later. I have a yoga class. I'm like all self-care today. I was crying my eyes out. I was bawling. I just felt all that grief, all that collective grief that we are moving through as a collective in our hearts. And I was like bowing to feeling all of that. So rich, so deep. So to work through these obstacles, we need to understand our energetic blueprint. And this is really what I wanted to get to today, is like understanding that. I should drink some water because I'm getting pretty thirsty. Thank you. We have many layers. In yoga, we call these the koshas. And I'm not going to go into a big teaching about the koshas. I'm just going to mention it. But the energetic sheaths, okay? There's our physical body. There's our emotional body. Well, the physical, I'll do it in order. Physical body, energetic body, emotional body. This is also considered the subconscious or the lower mind. A lot of programs in there. And then we have our higher mind. And then we have our bliss body. And even the bliss body is considered a maya, an illusion. And then we hit what's transcension. Is that a word? Transcension? I don't know. Maybe enlightenment, right? We fully surrender. Now, there's a big gap I'm finding, especially as a healer. I mean, I've been a healer for a really long time and a coach. It's like one of the things I work with women is really understanding that there's this gap that's been happening in society where we've worked very mentally on things, very, very mind-oriented mentally, and psychology, and I use psychology, so psychology is amazing, right? There's great, beautiful, yeah, transcendence. Thank you. That's the word. Transcendence, of course, right? Thank you. I love you. Oh my gosh. Hi, you guys. Thank you, Manai, for coming. So, transcension. Yeah, thank you. You'll put that out there. But where was I going with that? So there's all these illusions, but all these energy layers. And we've been very focused in the mind, right? Psychology. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's a huge tool. And maybe the body, right? As yogis, a lot of us came into yoga through asana practice, through our physical body. But what we haven't really learned as a culture, and it's really starting to happen now, is all these other layers in between. And so there's a gap between our subconscious mind, our programs, our emotionality. I'm going to make up words because, Michael Beckwith makes up words all the time, and I love him. He's one of my teachers. Between the emotions and the higher intellect. So as we're awakening, we have this conscious awareness, and we're like, oh my God, this is who I want to be. And then I got all this other shit that's happening. And now I feel like two different people, like one person over here, one Jekyll and Hyde. Like today I'm all my yogic self, my highest self. And then I go into the parking lot and, everyone's trying to get out of the parking lot. This was in LA. Everyone's trying to get out of the parking lot and pushing people over and honking their horns. It's like, you just got out of a yoga class. Hello. They're back in their subconscious, right? They're back in their subconscious. Habits, conditioned behaviors, annoyances, triggers, blah, blah, blah. So there's this gap, and we want to create this rainbow bridge between the subconscious parts of ourselves, these old patterns and behaviors, and our conscious awareness, loving awareness. Thank you. Brilliant conversation. I love you. So we want to heal our emotions, and go through our energetic sheaths and get to the root of these programs that have been ruling all of the collective consciousness. And they're deep-seated. So it's not like this virus comes up, this global pandemic comes up, and like, we've ascended. I actually think this is a long journey. It doesn't have to be, let's say, I don't know, time is irrelevant. Let's just say we all go in and we do the deep dive and we start to understand our energetic blueprint. And this is where I was going with this, because this is how it all kind of, through this series of videos that I've been watching, I was like, oh my God, wow, this is so freaking cool. So our energetic blueprint, the light codes within our body, everything's in there, in our chakra system. So to me, everything that's energy, right? We're interconnected, we're energy vibratory beings. We talked about that in the beginning. Vibratory energetic beings living in resonance, internal alignment. Then we need to look at our ones and our zeros. So check this out. Our energetic blueprint has unique genetics. We come in at a specific astrology. We have our Akashic records and our past lives. We have our experiences. And then we have free will. Whoa, like so much going on. Our soul is like, okay, like we've got all these pieces to the puzzle that we're learning. And we have our own unique expression and attributes and gifts and talents within that. And we want to learn about ourselves. We want to get to know ourselves. So here's the thing. The yogic path of enlightenment is the path of self-realization. Getting to know thyself. Getting to know thyself. So if we understand our energetic blueprint and we understand that we're on the path of enlightenment, check this out. The 7 chakras are CDs. Let's just call them CD-ROMs. And one day you'll watch this video and be like, what's a CD-ROM? Right? Anyway, CDs, right? They're vortexes of energy. But I like to think of them like CDs. ones and zeros getting programmed. Ding, 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 right? This is all the programs from your lineage, all the programs from your birth, all the programs from your childhood development, all the programs from society, traumas, pain, sufferings, joy, static nature of yourself, all of it recorded. And now this is our operating system now that comes online in the world. This is how we have perception, worldview, our opinions, our conditions, our behaviors, our habits. So if you don't know what this is at a really deep root level, how are you going to operate in this paradigm and actually shift yourself and get through the threads, like deprogram yourself so that you can reprogram yourself? And this is kind of where neuroscience is coming in, because neuroscience says you can always reprogram yourself. For a long time, we thought, no, this is just what it is. This is my genetics. I'm going to have what my parents have. I'm kind of screwed because they were screwed, right? Whatever we think, right? God love our parents. And it's just not true. It's just not true. So here's the thing. If you know thyself, you can deprogram and reprogram, which is evolution. This is the process of evolution. And this is deep personal responsibility. Deep personal responsibility and ownership. Ownership. Now, we talked earlier about inner resonance. So inner resonance, how do we get to that inner resonance? And that inner vibration is like we clear. And we spend time really getting to know the system, but clear it out. And it's not just an intellectual knowing, like, oh, I know the 7 chakras. Like, I knew the 7 chakras for 15 years and didn't know the 7 chakras. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, so this material is so deep, this wisdom is so deep. And if we understand all the layers of it through our bodies, then it starts to get really rich. And here's the thing. 5 koshas, 5 kleshas, 5 senses, 555, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness. We work through these 7 chakras. This is all this sacred geometry. It's so great. We work through it with our 5 senses. It's not an intellectual game. This is not just understanding something. And this is where I think we fall off in our understanding of healing, where we kind of sit on a couch and just talk about our stuff. Because that's not it. That's not the only tool. We need to use all 5 senses to pull the threads of the programs through our bodies. We move stuck, dense energy, thought forms, emotional patterns through all of the senses. We become a conduit. Then we become a conduit of the unified field of energy. We become a conduit of the unified field of energy as loving awareness. So this is what I want to tell you about the chakras, okay? Okay, is this. The first chakra is, of course, people will say, well, it's our root chakra. We're connected to the earth. It is that. But it's our deep connection with Mama Gaia. It's our true relationship. And what is our relationship to the earth? Our real root relationship with the earth. And when I ask that, a lot of people are like, I don't know. But then when they really think about it, do you have practices and rituals that connect with the earth? It's also our lineage stories. So like understanding our deep, deep, deep lineage and all of our ancestral stuff, as well as our primary relationships with our parents and whether or not that's healed. Our second chakra is around our parents and the way that they relate and our interrelatedness with masculine and feminine energy for balance. Okay, so a lot of people talk about sexuality. It is sexuality. It is sexual health, but there's a whole, it's like, I want to call it like, there's a dimensionality to this information that actually has stuck energy and emotions all through your body that need to be pulled through, these threads that needs to be pulled through. We have our third chakra. Everyone says it's our power center. Yeah, it is, but but it's much more than that. Like, how do you harness your energy? How do you leak your energy? Where does your energy go? What are you doing with your energy? Do you take actions or not? Do you stop yourself in your business, for example, as light workers, healers? Do you not take actions? Do you get stuck in perfectionism? Do you get stuck in inertia? Are you not shining your light? Are you not teaching right now? Why? Right? And to go back to first and second, like, do you not feel supported in your life? Do you not feel supported to go out there and teach? Do you feel like you can't do what you want to do because you don't feel like you're good enough? Do you feel like you need more skills, more certifications, more things in order to be good enough and worthy enough to do what it is that you're here to do? No, like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Not just like, hey, here are the chakras, but like, how is this affecting you and your business? And how is it affecting you to go out in the world as a healer, a light worker, a yogi, a teacher, and do your good work in the world now? Because now it's needed more than ever. More than ever. More than ever. So our confidence, the way that we show up, what kind of energy we show up with, right? If I came onto this call and I was like, oh, blah, blah, right? No one would listen. Maybe they would, I don't know. But you got to show up with your energy. You got to show up with who you are. You got to be in alignment with your energy, right? We talk about the heart. Right now, the heart is in deep healing. We're collectively healing the root, right? Getting over our fears, our root fears, our safety issues, our trust, our surrender, our support, and like grief, sadness, all the stuff that's going on right now. It's so deep. It's so deep. But we're clearing our hearts. We're clearing our hearts for unity, consciousness. Yay! Like, this is a really super exciting time, right? So even though there are a lot of people grieving, and God bless all the people who have died, suffered, and taken one for the team, really, for global ascension. Like, wow, is that deep work? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we want to know what we're doing with our hearts for service. Are you serving your people? Are you connecting, magnetizing with your people? Right? And then how do we really speak our truth? Like right now, like this is a growing edge for me to be on Facebook and Instagram. But I need to do this because this is what I do. I teach. And so I need to open my voice. And if you're like playing small and you're hiding behind all the different things, like I was saying earlier, perfectionism or sabotage, that was one of mine. I had to get over, like self-sabotaging or rejecting, like oh, everyone's going to reject me, so I should just stay small. Like, how is that going to serve anybody? It certainly doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve anybody in the collective, right? So these are the types of things that I'm talking about that we need to get through to get into that inner resonance, that inner energetic alignment, and like work our good work, do our good work on this world, in this world, for this world, with the world, support each other. And getting in alignment, 6 chakras, intuition, but it's also like, how do we bring that information down into this body? A lot of this is about embodying the information and doing it in your body on the planet now. You would not be here on the planet at this incredible moment of time if you weren't here to be in your body. We don't want to be escaping our bodies. Our bodies where the wisdom is. 31 trillion cells working simultaneously in resonance with the unified field. Wow! Like, you're an incredible gift, a miracle of God. Consciousness. Right? And then 7th chakra, like opening up to the field of unity and divine consciousness and higher purpose and higher self. And pulling all of that down and through your energetic blueprint. So you're clearing and you're pulling the threads through. This is how we do it. We do it through the senses. Things like meditation, journaling, mirror work, shadow work, right? Emotional, trauma-informed emotional healing work. Embodiment practices. We've got to use all the sheets: mind, emotions, subconscious programs, conscious awareness, to get through all of these things and really get to that place of full clearing. I wrote to myself, the energetic blueprint holds the codes of our purpose. Our energetic blueprint holds the codes of our purpose. So the key to alignment is getting into resonance, or resonance is the key to alignment. They're one and the same. That is flow state. Flow state. If you're in your flow state, you're in your highest purpose. You're clear. You know what your purpose is. And some people will come to me and they'll say, I don't know my purpose. I'm like, yes, you do. You've got to sit and clear out so that you can reveal your purpose. Your purpose is in the energetic blueprint. It's coded within you. Your light is you. You are whole, complete, amazing, intelligent, beautiful, wise, loving, and all you. But there's like dissonance that's gotten in the way, static. So you know your purpose, but you kind of gotta clear out and get through all the noise. Learning to move all that energy and all those emotions so that you can just calibrate to the higher frequencies. Calibrate to the higher frequencies. Jenny Biondo, yes, sister, I love that. Some of you are making such great comments, so thank you for all the hearts and all the hands and all the love, and I love it too, and you can continue to do that, so it gives me energy to see it. So taking action, I really want you to take action to get into alignment. Action into alignment is what I'm calling the personal responsibility. And it's a big word. Like I watched this. I mentioned the City and Blade the other day, and because I think his work is so amazing. He was talking about personal responsibility actually yesterday, and I just so resonated with it because it's like he talks about how people are like thinking that there's somebody that's going to come in here and just like swoop us up and save us. Like what? Like we are the light. There's nothing to save. We already are it. Preach it, queen. We are the light. Woo! Can I get an amen, sister, on that? Right? We are the light. We are already it. God's already within us. We are eternal light beings. And this as healers and light workers who are watching this as spiritual people on the path of enlightenment, which I've been talking about this whole time, then no one's saving us. It's about us liberating ourselves. The yogic path to enlightenment is liberating ourselves. And we do that by moving the energy up through the chakra system to get ourselves clear to be a full channel, bringing heaven to earth and earth to heaven, and uniting in the heart, unity, consciousness. Woo! Can I get an amen on that, right? So it's about ownership, and discernment. Discerning what is mine, what is my clear purpose. Sitting in silence, going deep into the mother, into the womb energy, into the shadow if I need to be, looking at the fear that's within me right now. And not avoiding it. I had this amazing shamanic journey the other day that brought me to a bat. And I went through this tunnel and the bat had these big fangs and I was like, ah! And then it said, go into your fear. And I was like, oh. Went deeper into it. And I just kept following the darkness. And I was like, am I scared of the dark? Is this why I'm scared? Like, what's the darkness here? And then eventually the message was, if you keep tunneling through the darkness, there's nothing to be scared of. There's only light. And then I started to see light. And it was really interesting, and this is kind of a digression off this path of what I'm talking about, but it said, why have we made vampires these bad things in our culture? Like, you get bitten and then you have eternal life. And the bat said, you are eternal. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of a crazy shamanic journey, but it was like awesome. It's like, you are eternal. That's amazing. We are energy. Energy doesn't die. It changes form. And so if you guys know who Richard Rudd is, I highly suggest. I listened to a meditation he did at the equinox, and it like blew my mind. Him talking about when he went into a spontaneous state of enlightenment, the timelines that we travel and how we weave in and out of this university experience to witness ourselves and to evolve and grow. And it was like, it was so stunning. Anyway, I cried my eyes out, and you should definitely see it. I shouldn't say should. I don't like to should on myself. You need to see it. It feels good. So ownership, I'll get back on track. Ownership, discernment, right? Getting in alignment with our own natural state of harmony. If we're in inner resonance, we're in sacred reciprocity and balance within ourselves and with the earth. And that is how we shift this ship. How we go into what I love everybody's calling 5D. How do we ascend to this next level of unity consciousness? So what I wrote here is like self-love and self-care. Self-love, self-care, self-love, self-care. We can't have enough of that because that is inner resonance. Loving ourselves, caring for ourselves, nurturing ourselves. And this is like primo time, prime time. You know, it's funny, some people were like, are you slowing down and going inward? And I was like, well, I have to check myself because I'm a very energetic person. And I'm really into this stuff. So it's like now there's so much material out there. And my Aquarius in me is like, yeah, more information. Just like soak it all up and suck it up and pull it in. And the Virgo in me loves that too. But then there's the part of me that knows that part of that is also distraction. And it's part of my process of moving through my own aversion to sitting maybe in silence and rest and just being with myself. And so it's up to you to decide how much you take in or how much you don't take in, how much you go inward, how deep you want to go. I just want to encourage you that you are really the one that you've been waiting for. You're the one that you've been waiting for this whole time. You are the deep medicine. You are the medicine. And it's time to really do this work, right? To heal the traumas that we need to heal. To go into this deep place of womb wisdom and to unlock our power. We are powerful, powerful healers. So I encourage you, if you're not healing, or let's say if you're a healer and you're not out there doing the healing work, right? Because like physically right now, maybe we can't, we're social distancing. But if there's other struggles coming up, like maybe you're like, oh, that's a relief because I was kind of getting there, but I wasn't really there yet. Or you're getting stopped, like putting things up on video or sharing yourself in any way, then there's something blocking you from releasing your gifts into the world. And I really want to help you share your gifts because this is of paramount importance right now for the whole planet. So if things like money, stability are stopping you, there's probably also a deeper layer to that, right? Because I'm doing this work, right? So I want to just say, this is going to kick me off live, and it says in a minute and a half. I didn't know that they did that here. So I'm gonna skip to asking the live people to be in connection with me. I have a priestess, I call it the Priestess Sisterhood, the Priestess Within Sisterhood. It's a Facebook group. It's for women so that we can come together in a cauldron of support and love. And I do sisterhood calls in there. And part of doing this work right now is to align people with that work, but also to like offer an invitation to be held in this moment to work through some of this stuff. I'll put information down, but that there's a group that I've created. It's free, where you can get these free sisterhood calls. There's one tomorrow, Wednesday at noon, and learn about this information and learn about the ways that maybe you're being stopped from sharing your gifts. So I just want to offer that invitation. And I also want to offer an invitation that is really near and dear to my heart, which is my deepest calling that I'm going to announce right now. It's like It's open enrollment for my, I call it Unleash the Priestess Within and Thrive. And it's a community group of women that go on a deep, deep, deep soul dive through all of this material. And if you just resonate with any of it, I'll just start a conversation with you. I just want to get to know you. I don't even worry about the rest. Just like, what are you up to that I can support you with? This is going off. So I'm still on Facebook, and so the invitation is open. There we go. The invitation is open to go into like a really, really, really deep energetic journey with yourself. How do I align with inner resonance right now and overcome some of the obstacles that I'm facing that are preventing me from living in this powerful truth? You might feel like, oh, I'm super disorganized. Like, I have all these ideas. I'm an entrepreneur, but I can't get it together. You know, a lot of people right now feel that way. So get into focus, get into alignment, get into clarity of purpose, right? If you're like, oh, I'm getting stopped, like I said, like video, or I don't know, or someone's going to reject me, there's other stories that need to be worked through the system. Don't let these things stop you right now. Don't stop yourself. So the invitation is open enrollment for women to come into a deep sacred container and initiate as healers in the world with their visions and share those with the world. This is super important right now. So if you're in alignment with this, just type below this video, me. That's it. Just write me or give me a star or a heart. And I will start a conversation with you to see if this feels like the cauldron of sacred opportunity for you. Because this is about you getting out in the world and sharing who you are as a light worker, as a mother, as a healer, as a lover, as a teacher, as a yogi. And if that's not happening right now, it's got to happen. This is urgent. This is imperative. So I'm going to ask you to really step forward. That's your challenge, to step forward and be the light that you are here to be. This is a time of rebirth. This is a time of rebirth, going into the darkness of the womb, going in and listening in silence. What seeds am I planting in the fertile soil of my own awakening? What seeds am I planting in the fertile soil of my own awakening? Be the solutionary, not the problem. Come up with solutions. You might feel like, I don't have any money, I don't know what to do, there's nothing. Stop. What's a solution that you can come up with that feels available to you right now? And this is really about creation. What are you ready to create? What are you ready to create? And my service in the world is to work with soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I was going to say spiritual entrepreneurs, but really like soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs that are here to unleash, right? I say their passions, their powers, their purpose in the world. And do it now. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Let's close. I wish I could have closed the live people. I didn't know there was a time limit like that. But I'm going to close this journey today. For those of you who are joining now, or joining later, or will watch this later, just to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Thank you for who you are. I'm closing out with a little ceremonial light code activation so that you can be in that space of really hearing your soul. tapping into your heart. Sending a prayer out to all the beloved souls that are in pain or suffering, to all the people here, maybe listening, who've been affected, letting you know that we are here, holding the torch of light for you, for your family, for your loved ones. Sending so much beautiful, loving energy from this full moon to all of you in your own bodies. May you feel peace, may you know beauty, and may you feel so much loved. Closing the circle and the prayer. Love you. Please feel free to reach out with me anytime. Love you, love you. Mwah. Namaste. Namaste.